just shows that heartache and heartbreaks can kind of really mess you up. Hey guys, it's Naim. Now today I'm going to be reacting to an animated horror story recommended by someone, the same person who recommended Slipknot. Thank you. And yeah, I don't tend to do scary scary reactions, because I do get a bit scared. But yeah, if you want more reactions, please like and subscribe. If you subscribe, you get a free Sudoku book. Yeah, no. Yeah, go. Oh.
I grew up in what people would consider a bad household. My mom and dad were in a bad relationship, and they did nothing but argue every day.
Sounds
my mom
slightly
would complain
robotic.
that my dad would stick in the basement almost every day and never spend any time with me. And my dad would always have the same response, that he's doing research down there. The only problem was that we were prohibited from going down to the basement. 3 locks were built into the basement.
Are these true, by the way? Sure, there must be like stretched.
The door. And he kept his one key on his old key ring. The key had a torn blue sticker at the bottom of it with a brown rusty tip. However, my mom finally got a hold of it somehow. And that same day when I came home from school,
went down.
Dad suddenly told me she left us for another man. He seemed truly broken and sunk in his misery. So I tried pretending to be normal at first. But I couldn't stop crying like a baby when I finally got...
When that happens, you know, I swear down, like, I remember when I thought, oh yeah, if she cheats on me or she sees someone else, I'd be cool. I wouldn't even say anything. I'd just leave. In reality, that's not how it worked. I was crying my eyes out. I was a mess. It just shows that heartache and heartbreaks can kind of really mess you up emotionally. And to this day, I still feel a bit scarred. Not gonna lie. Like yesterday, anyway.
Back in my room. After a few months of emotional breakdowns, my dad finally got over it. Furthermore, he started to visit the basement more consistently to the point where I would feel like I lived alone.
I think the pain just is less intense.
My dad was working very hard, since I saw him being very distraught after coming upstairs from the basement. I thought everything was fine until I started hearing noises at night. They weren't just regular noises. It was kind of someone's crying and scream of agony. But the most disturbing sound of all was the sound of growling, like some kind of beast would exist down in the basement. The next morning I complained to my dad, but he acted like he had no idea what I was talking about as he walked past me to get ready for work. So I just shook it off, assuming that he was watching some horror movie down there, or if I was just imagining the whole thing. I went back to my room. As it was the weekend, I was ready to catch up on some Saturday morning cartoons. I turned on my TV, and as I got ready to change the channel, I heard a familiar name. The news reporter was naming over 40 missing people in our town, and my mom was one of those.
That's crazy, man. Again, is this legit? It probably isn't, because the growling thing. Let me read some of the comments. I don't know.
Names as they briefly showed her picture and information. I was confused about who would file a missing person report for her, because my grandparents both died in a tragic car accident years ago. She had no siblings, and my dad told me she left us for another man. I wanted to inform my dad, but soon I was concerned it would make him depressed again. And in a way, I was still angry at her for leaving us. So I ignored it and changed the channel. A few minutes later, my dad came in to tell me he was leaving for work. He gave me a kiss on my forehead and informed me that he'd be back later that night. After he left, I invited my best friend Austin to come over. He then arrived shortly after, and we played a game on my PlayStation. As we were about to plunge into the game, we suddenly heard a strange noise coming from the basement. What was that? Austin asked, being confused.
So the research was
I don't know. My dad does some kinds of experiments down there. It's probably a rat or something. Austin looked amused. No, dude, we can't go down there. My dad said so, I said quickly, bringing an end to Austin's excitement. It has no reason to doubt that Austin was disappointed.
Oh yeah.
Then he asked for something to drink, so I went to the kitchen to get some juice for him.
Oh yeah.
However, I was hit with a foul odor of something rotting as soon as I arrived in the kitchen. I looked around to see what
So
could be the
it
cause of the
escaped.
smell, and I found that the basement door was cracked open. I went to close it, but the curiosity got the best of me. So I called Austin to help me investigate. We
Indeed.
darted down the stairs to the basement, clenching our noses at that horrible smell. It was dark until Austin found a light switch and quickly flicked it on. However,
In reality,
we
I
had to
don't actually think I'd go in.
regret our decision instantly after we saw the inside of the basement. There were people hanging from hooks with random limbs missing. As we were standing in horror, Austin clenched my shirt strongly. I could see the piles of feces and human remains contained within certain
Okay, that legit just turned real dark out of
sections
nowhere.
of the room. But the most disturbing and disgusting sight of all was the cage in the dark right corner of the room. The inside of it seemed to be a person sleeping at first, but as it looked up, I quickly realized that thing was not a person.
Holy crap.
What is that? Austin shouted, shaking with fear. I ignored his question. To be more specific, I couldn't answer. That thing was indescribably frightening. It looked like a deformed human with its mouth filled with crooked and ragged teeth covering a majority
Yeah,
of its...
when it comes to like monsters and stuff, it's not as scary. When it comes to actual human stories, they're more scary to me. Because when I think of monsters and stuff, I think of Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, fantasy stuff, where it's like, you know, it's not real. Whereas actual human, like, we're capable of cutting off limbs and stuff like that. It's crazy.
face. Its face pointed outward, with creases where the nose should be. The eyes were bulging out of its head as it fixated its glance toward Austin and me. Food, it said to us slowly with excitement and a malicious voice. Then it started clawing at the iron bars of the cage with its needle-like hands. I sat there in horror until Austin grabbed my wrist. We ran up the stairs scrambling for the escape and shut the door. After I made sure it was perfectly locked, I saw Austin sitting on the carpet floor with his knees to his chest. Once we had a few moments of silence, I then finally realized what really happened to my mom and
So you're telling me the husband, after finding out... Wait. The husband was researching before the mum left, and the mum left, and then he somehow... Or maybe she didn't leave. She never found another man. He actually just disposed her in the basement. Either this was an act of revenge or premeditated murder.
those missing people in our town. At that instant, Austin muttered like this. Your dad, he was feeding those people to that thing. Now, what should I do now?
You call the frickin' police and leave and never come back. Take all your belongings and frickin' run. Your dad is a psychopath. I actually don't know. What's the difference between psycho and sociopath? I just want to read some of the comments, man. We need a part 2. You know what? It can't. The people in here slightly remind me of 2 things. You know Arthur, the CBBC show, or CBBC, I'm not sure. I think it was CBBC. And also Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the animation slightly reminded the combination of 2. I don't know why. I used to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Not the new ones, the frickin' Yu-Gi-Moto, proper Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, if you want more reactions, please like, subscribe. You get a free Sudoku thing. And by the way, if there's a specific video you want me to react to, because it is hard trying to find some videos to watch, then please link it in the comment, because I want to keep it relatively short, like somewhere between 6 to 15 minutes length, because when I was searching for these, for example, they had compilations for an hour or 2, and it's like I just want a decent amount of time, some short ones, some slightly longer, So if you can recommend me some actual specific videos, that would be helpful, real helpful, because then it will just help me out without searching for things to watch. Because I'll tell you, it is difficult, especially because I'm trying to react to things that I want to watch, but as well as like what's also popping and what's also you want to watch. So like we want to match our interests. Yeah. Again, so much love, peace, take care.